So Schedule 1 is all the heavy duty drugs like cocaine and all.
Hope they don't try to swallow you. You know what I mean?
There's a 12-year-old girl. She was born with a spinal issue.
No way.
She called me the first day. I couldn't believe it because I was hoping for 25%. This girl has no pain.
What?
When I got the result,
Oh my God. Well, hello, listeners. Welcome back. My guest today is Alka Bhatia. She's the founder of Anarti Therapeutics. Welcome. How are you today?
very good. Thank you. Thank you for having me on the podcast.
Thank you for joining us. I'm excited to get to know you, your journey, and of course, what you're offering in health and wellness. Everyone here does that listens. They all create something in the health and wellness space. And it's our mission that people that are listening to this podcast and people that are in this journey promote health and wellness to our human race. And that I love that you're doing that and spending time on it.
Thank you. Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you. So please explain to me, before we go into what Anarti Therapeutics is, your journey, what brought you from America, if you're not, what brought you here, what started your journey here, and then professional background, if you may, and then what brought you to where you're at. I would like to hear those things from you.
Yeah, sure. So I came here in early 80s, mostly to go to for my further studies. I had my undergraduate in architecture, which is the building architecture, and then I came to MIT, and that was the time when computers were just taking off. So having a bent to for science and math, I wanted to learn more about computers. So that's why I went to MIT and I did my master's degree from MIT and then worked for various technology companies, ending up ultimately at Microsoft, where I was there for 12 years.
What year was that?
93.
Okay.
In
So
1993.
the start of their success, like how far into Microsoft was Microsoft at that time? A lot of these are young listeners. And
Yeah. So at that time, the Windows 95 was released when I was there because I joined in 93. So that'll give you a little bit of a timeline. It was in existence before I came, so I was not one of the first few employees. But at that time, the company was only 13,000 people.
13,000, I can't even imagine that. Was it even a publicly traded company at that time?
Yeah, it was a publicly traded company.
Okay. And so how long did you work for them?
I worked there for 12 years.
What brought you out of working for them? What? Because that's a really successful, known company. What made you leave that?
Yeah, so in about 2000, I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. So I've had fibromyalgia for 25 years because, as some people might know, it is a chronic disease that doesn't really get resolved or doesn't get cured. You have to manage it. And so I got it in 2000. I took 6 months off to take care of it. And then I did some Ayurvedic treatments that got me well enough to go back to work. And I went back to work and finally left in 2004 when I was feeling okay, but not okay enough that I could actually do everything I was doing. And I have 3 kids, so a family. So I went back to Microsoft after taking care of myself. I went back for 3.5 years and decided that it really wasn't working out. So I initially left Microsoft thinking that I'll take 6 months off. And my manager said, if take whatever time you need, but I needed to leave because I was managing a team of 30 at that time. Being a manager and being a skip manager, it's very hard to just disappear for 6 months.
Yeah.
You can't. I decided to leave and told her that I will come back if I feel well enough. I never went back. There was this journey of taking care of myself. I first spent some time doing the things that I had missed doing while working full time and
Yeah.
raising kids.
Like what? What were you doing? Like what?
So I took some glass blowing classes. Chihuli is right here. They have some workshops in the summer. So I attended there. I got onto some boards, some art boards, some health boards. So it was the things that I couldn't do when I had a full-time job and a full life. So I did all that. And obviously, in parallel, I was trying to take care of myself and my condition. So I went through several different prescriptions. And at that time, when I was diagnosed, most doctors actually did not even acknowledge fibromyalgia.
By the way, can you explain to listeners what that is?
Fibromyalgia is a pain condition, and the way I describe it to people who don't know somebody, I tell them that it's like having flu every day.
Oh my God.
It's your body is in pain all the time, you can't sleep, and obviously when you're a high functioning individual, when you can't do things, then it also leads to frustration.
Now, is it joint pain that you're referring to? What type of pain when you say your body's in pain?
It's like the flu pain. It's the whole body is
Oh,
aching
wow.
and fatigue, and that also leads to fatigue. And that's the issue that a lot of people with fibromyalgia have, is because externally you don't see an injury, you don't see a broken limb or anything like that. So they can't understand why you're not able to do what you were able to do maybe a couple of months or years ago. They don't really understand why you are in bed or being slow. I think part of my goal is really also to educate people who are living with somebody who are taking care of somebody with fibromyalgia, so they can understand and be empathetic to it.
Right. Now, what type of pharma drugs were they trying to put you on? How were they trying to treat the symptoms? You know, if it's feeling like the flu, were
Right.
they giving you a steroid of some kind?
They were giving me two kinds of prescriptions.
Uh,
One is the NSAIDs, which are painkillers.
uh,
And the second is they were repurposing the antidepressants because depression is part of. I went through all kinds of that, and none of them was really taking care of me. I was feeling worse and worse. Some of it from the drug, feeling dizzy. I was feeling like I had a mental fog all the time. I couldn't think
yeah.
straight. And at the bottom of my condition, I couldn't lift a glass of water.
What year was that?
And that was about 2000 and 2001.
Actually,
Yeah, and that's when I decided that I needed to do something. I was in my 40s and I couldn't obviously live my life like that. So I had to do something. And that's when I went for my Ayurvedic treatment.
yeah. How did you learn about what the treatment that you're talking about?
Because I grew up in India, I knew about Ayurveda. And so I knew that Ayurveda can detoxify your body and take care of it holistically. Ayurveda is 5,000-year-old science. They treat not the disease, but the body.
Sure.
Holistically.
How is it treated in Ayurveda?
Well, there are some treatments in terms of massages and oils, and there are some herbs that you take. So it's a combination of things that you do. So I did that, and that's actually what made me well enough so I could go back to work, which I told you that.
Oh, it was strictly the Ayurveda that you were well enough to go back to work on.
Right. The medicines that I was taking were just taking care of the symptoms temporarily. It didn't make me well.
And not only that, the medication, the more you were taking, was your body becoming immune to it, and so you would have to take more of it, like it was.
I switched my prescriptions several times because partly they were not working, partly because they were having really severe side effects. One of the last ones that I took, actually, it was kind of working with the pain, but I started gaining a pound a week.
Was it water weight or was it?
I don't know if it was water weight, but I know as soon as I stopped it, I started losing a pound. So there was direct correlation.
So, but it was only making you have the ability to go to work. You still didn't feel like yourself, is what you're saying.
Exactly, which is why I decided to finally leave.
And how did you get into introducing to CBD?
So that came a little later in 2010, working with a company as a CEO of that company, which was working with hemp. They had the hemp farm. And so working with the company, I had to learn about the product, obviously. What hemp can do for you. There are apparently 80 uses for just the hemp plant. And so I was learning as I was doing my research, I also found out that it's good for the pains and for conditions like that. We in that company were not selling any finished products because it was mostly a growth company, growing products, growing hemp plants. So it gave me an opportunity to look into what CBD can do for you. So I did my research and I found a company that I was buying the gummies and the tincture from, and that was very helpful. So when I told you that I had that medicine I was gaining a pound a week. After that, I went to my doctor and I said, I can't do this. It's not gonna, I mean, even though it's mildly working, I can't afford to gain a pound a week. So I decided to go on just ibuprofen. And I took two ibuprofens in the morning and two in the evening. It's taking care of my pain, but not other symptoms. So it was taking, and it's really bad for your kidney.
Yes, it is.
Then after 1 year of ibuprofen, I switched to Tylenol. Again, two in the morning and two at night. Again, only taking care of my pains. While I was doing that, I started experimenting with CBD because I'd learned the benefits of CBD. So I started ordering CBD oil and gummies to see if that will help. Once I was comfortable that that was helping, I stopped my medication, my Tylenol or whatever else I was taking, and I went just on that. Even though, again, it was working, and I'll tell you about the formulations that I was having, I didn't feel like it was completely helping me. So that's when I decided to formulate my own formula where I combined the different CBDs, different kinds of CBDs, to get a holistic effect.
Okay.
And that's when I will now talk about.
Please show. Please show what they are. Mhm.
Yeah. So this is the oil, and this is the one that I take every day in the morning.
Okay.
And so most of them have CBD. Most formulations have CBD. And then there's CBG, and CBG is a minor cannabinoid, and that helps with your cognitive, and that's what gives you mental clarity, sleep, stress, anxiety. That's what helps you with that. And then the last one is CBC, and CBC is the one that helps you with the pain. So because this formulation is not available anywhere in the market, this came basically from what I thought should be there in the formulation. Now, CBC is actually part of the reason why other companies don't use it is because it's 9,000, 10,000 almost per kilo, $10,000 per kilo.
Oh my
Which,
God.
and if you buy it in retail, it's actually more expensive per gram than platinum.
What?
Yes.
So when can someone really buy it if it's that expensive? You know what I mean?
No, in wholesale it's much cheaper,
Okay.
but the retail price is 9,800. The CBD costs about 800 per kilogram. So it's 10 times more expensive than the regular CBD, and which is why I think people don't use it in the formulation. But I found it very beneficial, and so I insisted that I will use that in my formulation. So that's what it distinguishes my formulation. This plus the Ayurvedic ingredients that I have in here, which is turmeric, which is anti-inflammatory,
Yes.
the
Okay.
holy basil, which is also called tulsi, which is an adaptogen, and ginger and black cumin, which helps absorb the CBD. And I was insistent on having drops as a form, not gummies, even though gummies, people think that they can just take it. It's sweet, it's easy. Um,
Yeah.
Drops you put under the tongue, and they start getting absorbed
Okay.
right then and there. But because I do the drops, that's for the reason that it gets absorbed
Right.
in the mouth. And all this plus the Ayurvedic ingredients is what gives it the strength that it has.
So
So
you're adding the Ayurveda ingredients to the actual, either if it's drops, you're adding it to that.
yeah,
It's
yeah, it's the
not,
whole form.
it's not done separately. It's added to this.
No, it's
Okay.
in the formula. It's added. So once you have it, you just have the whole dropper full of just.
Ah, gotcha. Now,
which
how did you come across those two things being added together? Like, did you create the formula? Did you find someone that created it and you marketed it?
so I created the formula.
Really?
We Yeah. So I'll give you some examples of what we couldn't do and could do.
Uh,
I wanted to initially add ashwagandha. Ashwagandha comes from a root, so does turmeric, but for some reason, ashwagandha would not mix with the oil.
ah,
So and ashwagandha is also an adaptogen. I wanted to add an adaptogen, so then we went with adding tulsi oil or holy basil oil.
is
Uh,
ashwagandha is that something that helps with virility? Like, is that what that's known for? What is?
it's also an adaptogen, and I'll give you a sense of what adaptogen is. Adaptogen is an ancient Ayurvedic spice or ingredient that helps with anything that your body needs. So it
Mhm,
basically targets whatever is ailing you, whether
mhm.
it's physical, emotional, or mental. And that's why it helps you with stress. It might help with virality. It basically, whatever your body needs, it adapts to helping you. So I wanted the adaptogen in this and went with woolly basil. And I'm just talking about the formulation. The other thing was that we had turmeric in it,
Mm.
and the turmeric was settling in the bottle. And we realized that it was reaching the saturation point, that it could not, there was at certain point, more of it stopped mixing with the oil. So it was because it was saturating the oil. So we had to reduce the turmeric in the
Yeah,
oil so that we would not get that sedimentation.
it goes through some trial and error to make the formula.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes. We went through a lot of testing. I had given them the initial ingredients that I wanted. I wanted these three kinds of CBD, and I wanted these the Ayurvedic oil ingredients. And there, like I said, ashwagandha was my initial choice, but that didn't work out. So we had to go with holy basil. So we had to kind of experiment.
And
Uh,
did you experiment with people on how it felt? Because how did you know to even do these things and mix the right things? It's kind of like making your own recipe. You know what I mean?
right. Right. This was all done in the lab by the manufacturer because they have a clean lab. So
Oh,
I'm mixing it in my garage. I was just telling them what I wanted.
mm,
And then they were experimenting and telling me this will mix, this is not going to mix.
I got
And
you.
then
Testing it before you put it into bottles and marketing it.
there were a couple of people and I was also testing for. I mean, I was not testing for efficacy at that time, and I'll come to that a little later. It was mostly I wanted the right ingredients in it, and I wanted it to smell good and taste good.
Ah,
I did not want it to smell like hemp or taste like hemp.
yes, which doesn't smell good.
Right,
They're
right.
very
Uh,
so,
yeah. And then the balm, which is
mhm.
this balm. It's got 2,400 milligram of CBD in a 3 ounce size, which is stronger than anything, which is 800 milligrams per ounce. It's stronger than anything else. But other than that, it has frankincense, which is boswellia. It has ginger and cayenne. And cayenne actually helps you with calming your nerves down, which is
I
kind
didn't
of
know.
intuitive. It's hot otherwise,
Yeah,
but
but it actually calms you. That's crazy.
yeah, yeah. And arnica and calendula, which are anti-inflammation. And then, of course, menthol. It has shea butter, so it actually leaves your hands very soft.
Yes.
And this thing works almost instantly. We both, me and my husband, both of us use it. Whenever you have point pain, we use it. And even people who don't have fibromyalgia, everybody has pain. I mean, my son, he goes go-karting, the kart racing. So he says, my body gets all thrashed up. And so he uses it and it just shortens his recovery.
Yeah.
Uh,
Excellent. Yeah.
it, he's given it to some of his friends who just love it.
That's awesome.
And again, it doesn't smell like hemp. It smells like it actually smells quite pleasant.
So when were you ready, when you believed in the formula, believed it was working, when were you ready to really start promoting it? What year was that?
It was last year in 23.
Wow, it took that. So you started taking it yourself in 2010, right? 20.
No, 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 no. I started formulating it in 2023. It took some iterations. It took some testing. I tested it, and we tested, and then I released it to the market late last year.
So that entire time before that, you were just using Ayurveda techniques. You weren't using CBD at all.
No, I was using what I bought commercially from
Oh,
this.
you were using people's formulas, but you didn't formulate your own combining them until 2023. I
Right.
understand.
Right. And so for 5 years now, since 2020, I've been without any pharmaceuticals. I've just been
Ah,
taking these formulas and I'm living a pretty good life in the sense that
mhm.
uh, I wouldn't say all my pains are totally cured because they can't be, but they allow me to function normally and I can do my stuff. When I couldn't walk a block, like I told you, now I can walk up to 15,000 steps a day when we are traveling.
That's amazing.
I'm sleeping every day. I'm focusing. I'm doing my work every day, all the time, and I'm able to focus. I'm able to keep up with things and still spend time with the kids when they want to meet. They're old now and they're all married, so
Yeah.
it's given me my life back in some ways, which is why I say this is not just if you want to move people from survive to thrive. Just living a life is not what our goal should be in life. We need to live a life that we want to live.
Yeah,
But
enjoy it.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Not just existing. So how did you start manufacturing it in mass quantities? Like what did you start doing?
This is from the same manufacturing in Colorado, where
Yeah.
I love the company because one, it's started by a veteran. That their quality was very good. They
Mhm.
were ethical. They were not people who said something and did something else. They were
Yeah.
very. So I like the products. I like the people. So I started manufacturing with them. It's a CGMP facility. They test each ingredient as it comes to the lab because obviously they're manufacturing so much stuff. They don't want to cross contaminate anything. They have clean labs. I said, I want to visit, and they said, you can visit, but you won't be allowed in the lab.
Yeah. You can visit. Yeah, exactly.
Right, right, right.
Did you go visit?
No, I didn't. I didn't. When he told me you can't really come into the lab, I said, "What's the
Point.
point?"
Still
Yeah,
look at it from the outside.
right, right. And then after the formulations are manufactured, I mean, first we did the testing. Once I was happy with the formulation, then I ordered whatever quantity I wanted to order. They they manufactured the whole the quantity, and then they don't bottle it or put it in the tin until it's sent to a third party lab. And the third party lab is testing to make sure whatever is on the label is correct. The quantity of CBD and CBG and CBC is what it says on the tin or the bottle. It doesn't have any microbials, bacterials, pesticides, metals. So it tests for whole six, seven things. And all these reports, all these certificates are on my website. So anybody can look at it. So it's ethically manufactured. It's tested at every stage from the time that each ingredient comes in to the time it's mixed and the finished product. So we have testing at each step. So if you read the label, you see something, then you can trust that whatever the label says is what's inside. And then other testing I did was efficacy test because I said, it's helped me, it's working for me, but how do I tell other people and how do they believe me that this thing works?
I think it works. Exactly.
Exactly. So I actually did the study at Dabur, which is a company in India. They have a lab, and they did a scientific studies, an in vitro study, to figure out the efficacy of this formulation on cytokines. And I'll talk a little bit about cytokines. Cytokines are proteins that are in our cells in our body,
Mhm.
and we require them for normal functioning. When you get injured, that's the way that the brain gets signals that that you're injured in your hand and it needs to send by itself, to cure it or to.
Mhm.
And so it is a normal functioning of our body. But what happens is that they go out of whack and they start overproducing. So your brain is getting a signal that you have pain when you have no reason to have pain.
Wow. Okay.
And there are three kind of cytokines which are related to the pain, which is IL-6, IL-8, and TNF alpha.
Mhm.
And so I wanted to study what the effect would be in vitro with using my oil. And they did the study and realized that it actually reduces it from 38% to 75%.
Oh, wow.
When I got the results, I couldn't believe it because I was hoping for 25% reduction. So when I got the results, I said, well, that explains why I'm feeling the way I am because
Yeah.
it actually is working with my body.
So once you had that marketing, did you put that on the label, like, or on your website? Does
It's on
everyone?
my website.
Okay.
My website
You've been doing this marketing for 2 years now. You said, right?
for a year.
For a year.
I
How are
released.
you reaching out to people? How are they getting? How do they find you? Like, how have they found? How are you reaching people to provide them this?
So a lot of it is word of mouth, what I tell them and what people who've used it to tell them. We did do some marketing on Meta, but I think I don't think it reached the right audience.
Got you.
And I'll tell you two reasons why it's.
Mhm.
But before I tell you that, I want to, since I'm talking about the results,
Yeah.
I, I have been very excited about this particular result that I have got. There's a 12-year-old girl in Norway um,
Okay.
who came to know us and about us and all that. And she was born with a spinal issue. I don't know if it's injury or misformation or
Yeah.
whatever it is, but she has lived with pain and spasms all her life.
I can't imagine it.
And she said she was taking painkillers every 4 hours because they only lasted for 3.5 to 4 hours. So every 4 hours she would take, and then she was having other problems like stomach and all that.
Because of
So
all the pain. The pain.
all the pain and the medications, because
Yeah.
these medications are not good on your stomach. So then I gave her a bottle and I said, we met her in London. I gave her a bottle and I said, start taking a quarter dropper, because she's obviously 12. So I didn't want her to take too much.
Sure.
And wait for about 5 to 7 days for it to take effect. She called me the first day
What?
and he said, this girl has no pain.
No way.
She's doing whatever she's doing and has no pain.
Oh my God.
And now it's been 6 to 7 weeks that she's been taking it. She has had no pain. She's not taking any of her painkillers. She just takes this water once a day. No pain, no spasm, nothing.
My God, she's got to be so happy in her parents.
She is so happy. And that's when I hear the words like God sent healer. I mean,
Yeah.
you know so she has not only not had pain, she was not able to do gym before. Now she's able to do gym.
Okay.
She's able to focus in the classroom, and her mom, her grades also went up.
Well,
And
because
I,
she actually, yeah, because she can focus.
because you can focus and you don't have to worry about pains.
Yeah.
So your life just, I mean, I said I can't take credit for her grades getting better, but of course, when you have time and energy, and you're not focusing on your pain, then you can focus elsewhere. And she said she used to be very anxious in asking questions in the class, and her anxiety has gone away. So there's all these things that she's noticed in her daughter. Icing on the cake was when she told me that they had summer vacation, and she started taking this during the last month of the summer.
Mhm.
When she went back to school, one of her friends said, did you have a surgery or something this summer? Because you don't seem to be in pain anymore.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
I mean, I honestly, I'm just in dumbfoundment that I'm hearing this. You know what I mean? It's like a miracle drug.
It almost is. And of course, this is one case. Of course, I have to have at least two, three
Oh, of
cases.
course. So
But
what's the goal with this product? Like, are you trying to just do it through word of mouth? By the way, what is the cost of it? Like, how much does this cost?
so this each of these is 89.99.
Okay.
And I
How
did
long would it last somebody? If it's one drop a day, how long would that last somebody?
no, it's one dropper a day. So full
Dropper, sorry, dropper. I apologize.
there's 30 doses in here, but
Okay.
she's taking a quarter of a dropper, so it lasts her 4 months for one bottle.
Yeah, that's not very expensive.
Except they don't have any products in this space, so
They don't, right?
yeah,
Yeah, but you're going to take away the products in the space that they're using for preventative measures. You know what I
right,
mean?
right, right,
I
right.
just hope they don't try to swallow you. You know what I mean? Here's a question for you though,
Mhm.
because there's lots of people that sell CBD oil. You're thinking that yours is different because of the Ayurveda that's involved, right?
It's for two reasons. One is the CBG and CBD combination and CBC combination.
How popular is CBD oil in general in the marketplace? Have you spoken to other people that are in the same field as you, but not quite?
Yeah, so even though it's fully legal in
Mhm.
the US,
Yes.
it's people are still concerned. People, especially a pilot, wanted it. He said, "Will it show up in my test?" Anybody from
Yeah.
Army
Right.
is concerned. So I'm waiting for it to become move from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3, and then there'll be more research done on it, and people will be more comfortable with it.
What is Schedule 1 to Schedule 3? What does that mean?
So, Schedule 1 is all the heavy duty drugs like cocaine and all that.
Oh,
Yeah, and right now cannabis is Schedule 1, and
still. Oh, wow.
yeah, and which is what they're trying to change. And
Mhm.
Schedule 3 is the prescription drug.
Okay.
Percent. So once it's moved, so FDA will not touch anything that is in Schedule 1.
Hmm.
But once it goes to Schedule 3, then they'll start doing the research, they'll start looking at the products that use these ingredients, and then we can actually even get FDA approval once it is in that category. Right now, they won't touch it.
Gotcha. And of course, you want FDA approval because then you'll be able to market it differently. That's what you're saying.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Then you can do it as a prescription, then the insurances will cover it on
Yeah,
that.
there's first cover. Yeah. What is it the CBD targets? How does it help us in this way?
So I formulated it for chronic pain for my fibromyalgia.
Mhm.
I'm finding people using it for various things, for anxiety, for sleep, for just occasional pains too, like
Yeah.
chronic pain. But I have people using it for calmness and for sleep.
So for a closing summary, why choose your product over other CBD products and over pharmaceuticals? Give me 3 sentences to indicate that. Or four, you know what I mean? Just, why? Why would someone take it? What makes you the best?
What makes me the best? It's tried and tested. It is tested not just for efficacy, it's scientifically tested for efficacy with the tests that I've done. It is a pure product. It is what it says on the label. It has been third party lab tested. It's manufactured in a clean CGMP facility, and they test all along the way for ingredients to be pure. The balm is certified organic, USDA organic. So I think quality is no issue. This is a unique formulation. This formulation of the three CBD, CBC, and CBG doesn't exist. And I think there are benefits to each of those. And the Ayurvedic ingredients, which are tried and tested for 5,000 years, have benefits that complement the CBD. So it's a modern science with ancient wisdom combined in a bottle. And I was actually talking to the manufacturer, and he uses my balm over their own balm because he said I find it more effective.
Wow.
And that is because of all these additional ingredients that make it more effective because they are anti-inflammatory ingredients, they're adaptogen ingredients, and they provide the entourage effect that your body needs.
Best, you're combining modern medicine with ancient wisdom. I think that's just the best way to articulate it, in my opinion. And well, I appreciate your time with me. It's been wonderful to get to know you and to get to know Anarti Therapeutics. Where can they find you? How do people find you?
My products are on arti.us on my website. My email, I think, is published. It's alkabi@anarti.us. And I'm open. I look at my mail every day and I reply to the questions that are valid. I get a lot of junk mail.
I love your spirit. I've loved speaking with you today, and our listeners will look forward to it as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.